Hello everybody, and welcome back to something that I feel isn't talked about a lot in the community that I've seen while researching for this video. While researching for this topic, I looked up videos about it just to see if anybody had made a video about it, and to my surprise, not many people have talked about it, and that is Sword God Ryuma. About a year ago, I was saying that how I could see Ryuma being top 5 or top 10 all time, and people were like that old zombie that got up by Zoro and Thriller Bark. So thinking back on that, I decided to make a video about it and how I think Ryuma could possibly be the strongest swordsman to ever live. Before we get into the video, if you could please like, subscribe, turn on post notifications, and comment how you like the video after it's done, that would be greatly appreciated. It only takes a few seconds and makes a tremendous difference. First, I want to talk about the perception of Ryuma. It is well known that the Ryuma in Thriller Bark is not Prime Ryuma, but some people don't know that. Well, Oda wrote a one-shot before writing One Piece named Monsters, where a live Ryuma from 400 years ago is the main character, where he looks for a king, the man who has the reputation of being the strongest in the world. He meets a woman and a fraud, and when a ferocious dragon attacks, with one single slash, Ryuma beheads the dragon. At the end of the story, it is revealed that Ryuma is indeed the king that he was looking for. He had been given that name as a result of the reputation he had outside of Wano and in battle. Now, two important things here to unpack that I haven't seen other people mention. Firstly, Ryuma had the reputation of the strongest man alive. Now, some may say that his reputation is based off of only Wano because they're a closed-off country, but his portrayal in the story suggests that this isn't some small-town feat. By the time he died, his name had reached the heavens just as Zoro said he wanted to achieve one day. Everyone outside and inside of Wano knew who he was and of his legend, and over 400 years later, he is still worshipped as the Sword God. This is also highlighted when we see Kizaru in talks to go to the land of Wano, but Akainu tells him he can't go to Wano because of an unknown fighting force, and Kizaru knows immediately who he's talking about, and that is the quote samurai. The next point I want to focus on is the misconception of Ryuma cutting the dragon and it being compared to Zoro's feat in Punk Hazard. Me personally, I don't think it's a crazy feat. Ryuma's strength to me is based off of one other feat that I'm going to mention later, mixed with his overwhelming portrayal in the story. But comparing it to Zoro's feat is a bit weird to me because dragons, just like any other race in the story, can differ in strength in theory. For example, the dragon in Monsters was said to be the sole reason the world feared dragons again. This dragon was being controlled and without effort destroyed anything in this path. I also want to note that in Thriller Bark, when Ryuma and Zoro are fighting, Zoro says, "My swords might break if this fight goes on." The body and mind of that legendary swordsman lives on in him. Now this is obviously saying that Ryuma is a legend in every way possible, but he's unfortunately being held back by Brook's body. Cut to Dressrosa, and we get a flashback with Zoro and Mihawk, and the conversation goes as such. "Have you ever broken a blade?" "A few times. You did it to me even. If you would have infused them with hockey, those swords would not have broken. You must treat every nick as a mark of shame. Every weapon can be turned into a black blade like mine. No liquor until you've mastered that feat." Now, taking that conversation in context with the Ryuma and Zoro fight, we obviously know Ryuma has haki because of his black blade, but Mihawk speaks as if infusing your haki in your sword is something you have to master over time, and that speaks to Ryuma's monstrous haki. Now, I don't want to 100% say that he was using haki as a zombie, but it is possible as Zoro and Luffy have both shown haki before this point, but they're even less strong, inexperienced, and skilled as this Ryuma we see here. He still has the mind and body of the legendary swordsman we know from Monsters, so it is definitely a possibility in my eyes. Now this is something that's up for interpretation about what it was a testament to, but Hiyori said she would give her own father's blade up in exchange for Ryuma's blade. Now this is probably due to how much he means to the country, his overall legend, but every time he is talked about, shown in the story or we get info on him, it is about his strength. His whole legend is about him being a sword god. This even goes as far as people thinking he protects the country even in the afterlife. Gyakumaro thinks that the theft of his sword resulted in everything bad that happened after. He is such a renowned swordsman that the name Shimotsuki came from Ryuma's epithet, Frostmoon Ryuma, also meaning Shimotsuki, and it even has a village built after his name alone. Now, I want to move to an important point, and what I think is the main basis of me thinking that he is one of the strongest swordsmen to ever live. We cut to Skypiea, chapter 275. A story is told after Wiper tries to kill Enel for the final time. 800 years ago, the Shandorians and the people of Skypiea, the city of gold, fought with a certain group of people to protect the poneglyphs in their city, and in a battlefield with sacrifices, the the Shandorians won. Barely, but they won. Jump 400 years into the future, and that same faction tries attacking Wano, the city of gold, to take their resources, but there stood one man. The man who, after many years, defended the country all by himself, Frostmoon Ryuma. This is, in my opinion, his biggest feat, as he defended the country of Wano from people that were trying to take resources from their country by himself, for almost his entire life up until he passed from an illness. I brought up the connection between Wano and Skypiea and the City of Gold because although it's not outright stated that the people that attacked Wano were the same people that went to war with the Shandorians for the stone, we know that Wano has 3 poneglyphs, and it is outright stated that that is world nobles, and the war that they had with the Shandorians were for a stone. The Sword God is, in my opinion, one of the strongest swordsmen to ever live, and with good reason too. His portrayal in this series is something that many overlook but stretches generations in the One Piece world. I hope this video put things into perspective for anyone out there because I haven't seen a video talking about everything Ryuma has to offer. Sorry for this video being a rather short one, but I am planning a bigger video which will come out sometime this week, and I wanted to get this one out as soon as possible so I have a good amount of time to work on that one. Please like, subscribe, turn on post notifications, and have a great rest of your day. Until next time, peace.